Since I've been a very enthusiastic traveler into wildlife, into cities, into falls, and into adventure, one of the places that has fascinated me is called Iceland. Iceland is a Nordic country with a population of about 3,300,000, and it is very sparsely populated. So it's quite isolated. And describing Iceland would be like snow and fire putting them together. It has a capital called Reykjavik. Now, the language of Iceland is Icelandic. And Icelandic language has the words are difficult to pronounce. So as I go along, I might use some of these words like Reykjavik or Godafoss. So they may not be very clear. So Iceland is a remarkable country. It has got some of the spots or destinations are astonishing. Some of these, so on the 22nd to be precise, 22nd of September, year 2014, I landed on the safe soil of Reykjavik, which is the capital, and the name of the airport was Keflavik. Now, let me tell you something about this airport. This is the largest airport in Iceland and the country's main hub for international transportation. It is very important to clarify here for those who would like to gain knowledge of this wonderful country that the Keflavik airport is not the same as Reykjavik airport. The difference is that the Keflavik airport is an international airport and the Reykjavik airport is in the city center and is strictly domestic. Coming to the capital, which is the main population of Iceland, Reykjavik, the name of the capital, is a unique city which runs on geothermal power. It was between the 22nd of September and the 24th of September, which is very short for an amazing, stunning place like Iceland. However, the little I could gather in 3 days, I would like to describe that for your pleasure and hope you like it. Of course, the 3 full hectic days were pretty congested with programs, but I was able to see some very important and significant sites like the Blue Lagoon, the Godafoss waterfalls, and of course the geysers, the hot springs, and some of the lava fields which form the main attractions of this wonderful country. Another important thing that I would like to mention here is that this is such a beautiful country. It is said that beautiful stories of this wonderful land, what we call the Wonderland, the Vikings who came in fact became poets looking at the beauty of the country. And the other thing is, it may look quite isolated because of its sparse population, but it is only a 6-hour flight from New York and a 3-hour flight from London. So it is not really all that isolated. And it is, well, you can call it a big town or a small city. And when you go there, you feel very relaxed and welcomed. Most buildings that you see while I was wandering around in the city of Reykjavik are in response. Now, these buildings are made in response to the natural environment and they're simple and low. And of course, to beat the North Atlantic, these buildings are also colorful. They are colorful because they brighten the long, dark winters. In my 3-day short stay in this beautiful country, I saw and was very close, luckily, to one of the great falls which come from the Three-Taw River. It's called the Three-Taw River and it forms the tiered waterfall called the Godafoss waterfalls. And the Godafoss waterfalls is born from the Three-Taw River, and not only was the site of the fall memorable, the surroundings were equally impressive. Continuing on to describing the wonderful Godafoss waterfalls, I spent almost half a day not only admiring or in proximity to this wonderful, dramatic 2-tier waterfall, and I also can describe the vicinity of the fall, which is even quite amazing. Now, like I've told you, this is a two-tier waterfall, and the name translates from Golden Falls. Like I've told you, this amazing waterfall lies in a canyon on the Treetow River and is backed by scenic snow-capped peaks. You can see that while I was standing close to the fall, it was pretty misty and I was quite wet. You have to be dressed accordingly because, and if you want to use the path, you have to be very careful because it's often wet and quite slippery. Describing the fall further, now this is a very beautiful and powerful natural sight. Even if it's drizzling at that time, which it was, the beauty of the falls was most intense, and it's a great place for pictures. The other additional thing about this fall, the Godafoss Fall, is that this is a waterfall that you can get very close to it, and you can see I'm standing right next to it, and you can observe the massive power of Mother Nature. It is absolutely stunning. The other important sight that I saw and was stunning was Strokur. I hope that's the way it is pronounced in the Icelandic language. So I went to this Strokur tower almost at 4 p.m. It was sunny, and the next day they were expecting snow. At that point, there were quite a few people there, and because it erupts approximately every 5 to 8 minutes, I could stay and watch it a couple of times. Coming to the Blue Lagoon, which was another amazing thing in Reykjavik, Iceland. There are lots of pools and hot tubs which often serve as a hub of social activity in Iceland. And while the Blue Lagoon may not provide that every time, it's a very good place to get started. Adding on to this Blue Lagoon, it's undoubtedly Reykjavik's hotspots. Yet it can, of course, sometimes receive kind of criticism. It's because it is its regular coach load drops off and steep entrance fees. This is, of course, important, but then it is worth it. It isn't necessarily what everyone envisages when it comes to visiting an Iceland lagoon. However, the Icelandic name for this place is Bla Ionio. I hope that's right. Shouldn't be knocked out. It opens early, it closes late, and it provides one of the most stunning experiences one can get, and it's worth the trip. If you look at the Blue Lagoon, it's like a milky blue dot on the southwesterly, what we call, again, it's Icelandic, Reykjanes Peninsula. It's in the Reykjanes Peninsula. The Blue Lagoon is just about 15 minutes from their international airport called the Keflavik Airport, and it's about 45 minutes from Reykjavik, the capital. If you look at the moss-covered stones and high jutted rocks, do give an earthly feeling, one that reminds you of Iceland's connection with the nature is so important, and the great outdoors. When you sink yourself into its warm 38-degree mineral-rich waters, you will realize that this is well worth the experience, no matter how long or short your trip is. The Blue Lagoon is located in a strong geothermal power spot, but the spa itself is actually artificial. It was built into a lava field and has its water supplied from the nearby, if I can pronounce it, Svartsengi geothermal power station. The other important thing about this Blue Lagoon that I've been talking about is that the winter season is arguably the best time to visit the lagoon, as your body can really feel the benefit of both the warm and cold temperatures. Entry to the lagoon is, of course, you might think slightly expensive, about 40 sterling pounds, which includes, of course, a drink. From the swim-up bar, a silica mud mask, which is also very interesting and very intriguing, and of course they give you a towel. Once you have changed into your swimsuit, you will need to make the short walk, or more like a mad dash into the winter, from changing rooms across a small courtyard and down the steps into the water. And once you are in, you can swim your way around the large pool, past under the low wooden bridges, and tuck in around the corner to swim up bar. Now, you can also drink the natural mineral water straight from the tap that are dotted around the side. Stand at the foot of the forceful waterfall for a free massage. This is another interesting thing. And you can dive down to the bottom to grab a scoop of silt and rub it on your skin, a procedure that's said to cure a number of skin diseases. Needless to say that with all this to explore, you can easily spend 2 to 4 hours here in this wonderful pool. I did that, and this was absolutely amazing. All this that I've seen in just 3 days. This place is tremendous. It needs at least a week. However, I've gone through the lava fields, I've seen the hot springs, I've seen the pools, and I've seen the soil, the volcanic soil. All of this makes this country and place, a great destination. Hope you have enjoyed this short video and also have intentions of coming and seeing it for yourself.